From a professional soccer career to becoming a driving force in the mortgage industry, Brian Covey has shown what it takes to find your competitive edge. Get off the sidelines and get in the game. Find your competitive edge with Brian Covey.
What's happening, guys, and welcome back to a solo edition, another one, of Finding Your Competitive Edge. This week, we are going to unpack one of the conversations that I absolutely loved and I was looking forward to with Henry. And if you hadn't listened to that one yet, you need to go back and listen to it. But Henry and Ammar talked about really how you get unstuck in your life. And I loved he said this: have you ever gone through a challenge? And I'm sure we all have, but you've been at a place where you felt like you were rejected, but you're actually being redirected. And it could have been a loss of a job, a relationship, something in your life that just did not go the way you planned. And you see, we're all going to be faced with it. You've all faced it before, and it's going to happen again. And how you respond and how you actually show up is going to matter. So I'm going to break down some of the things that I took away learning from Henry, and then also some of the things that I use myself. So guys, buckle up, grab a notepad. We're going to get right into it. So this is something I took away when Henry actually spoke in Dallas at the Create event with Ken Jocelyn. And he talked about this, and I love the way that he framed it up, is your weaknesses are your strengths with fears attached. Your weaknesses are your strengths with fears attached. How many times have you been fearful to try something new because maybe it was a weakness and you weren't good at it yet, but maybe it was something that if you put a little bit of time and a little bit of effort into it, you could be. You see, almost 10 years ago, I remember walking in the first time into a CrossFit gym. And let me just tell you guys, my friend Jason had invited me in there, and I had no idea what was going on in there. People are doing these crazy butterfly pull-ups, handstand push-ups. They're lifting bars, doing Olympic lifts and all that. And as a soccer player, somebody that had been running, just completed Insanity, all of that stuff, that all made sense. Like, I could run, I could do plyometrics. You want to give me box jumps, like I'm in. But it was all these things I couldn't do. And imagine being a professional athlete and a D1 college athlete, or whatever level you are. But in my situation, being those things and not being able to complete some of the movements that day, it lit a fire in my belly where I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this sport is, but I'm going to learn this. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know what it's going to be required as far as time, but I want to learn this. If all these other people can do it, I'm going to figure it out. And that's just one example of many where I look and go, had I not decided to try that? You know, the same is true several years ago when I hired a recruiting coach and someone to help me really break through some limiting beliefs and some barriers that I'd put in my own way that I wanted to move to that next level. And so maybe hiring a coach is the right move for you. And you're looking at where you are and where you want to go, and you recognize that gap. You see, all those are limiting beliefs that have happened. The third, I'll give you an example in my own life. I'll never forget, I was working in the bank at Wells Fargo, and I'd applied for a new promotion, a new job in our builder division at that time. And there were panel interviews. And if you remember back into The Apprentice, the show, if you ever watched that, you remember with Donald Trump and all the people sitting around the boardroom and all that, and they would pick the best people. They would all interview. They would tell you how wonderful they are. They would do tasks and all that. We had something very similar, and all of us interviewed. All of us put our presentations forward, our best foot forward. We did warm-up interviews prior to coming in. We would practice. We would do phone interviews with people, and then we showed up for the big day. And it's a panel, and they're all looking at you, judging you, asking questions. Some are writing things down. Some are super quiet. Some are more engaged. Well, fast forward to the end, and I thought I had done well, but I knew I hadn't done my best, right? And it's one of those you leave, and I find out later that I was not selected for the promotion. I could have taken that as a rejection, like, okay, you didn't get the job. It just isn't meant for you, right? Like, don't ever apply for that again. Don't ever think that that can be for you. But actually out of that was birthed a relationship with one of the panelists. Said, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to work with you on your strategic thinking, your strategic planning. And I can see this gap in your game. And maybe because you're fearful, you don't even know, like at that point, strategic planning. I'm like, that sounds like some huge concept, overwhelming and all that. I'll never forget, a mentor came out of that experience. And so while some might say you were rejected for that job, I was actually being redirected to learn and be prepared for when that opportunity came up again, that I would be ready. So think back in your own life. When have you had one of those things where you tried something new, or you didn't get the job opportunity or whatever the opportunity was, and you felt like it was rejection, But now as you can look back and you have clarity of your vision, you can say, no. That was God just redirecting me in another place. And so I love as Henry went through this as well, we talked about a couple things here. If at the crossroads of any challenge, we've got a choice to say, this just is what it is. This is as good as it gets. Maybe that's not for me. Or we can lean in and we can actually say, you know what? Maybe there's some work I need to do. Maybe there's some things I need to learn, some people I need to contact. There's some things I need to do to move forward. I'm going to put myself back in the game. I'm going to make sure that I'm engaged and I'm going to move forward. So I loved when Henry shared this. The other thing we talked about was the importance of proximity. And I love how when Henry went through this has been really what I say is a cheat code for many people. If you're out there and you see these masterminds, you see people getting together, they're sharing ideas, they're going to places, sometimes really cool places, and they're around great people. And you wonder, why are they always excited? Why are they always coming back with new information? How are they having a great year when the rest of the market and their industry is down? I love that Henry said this is, who lights you up? Like, think about that when you walk in a room or you're around people. Who lights you up? And who are the people that actually pull energy from you and they suck it away to where you're like, I don't want to do this with them or to be around them anymore. Take note of those people because you're going to make sure that your corner, the people that are the closest to you, and your circle, which is a broader, wider group, are all the people that you've hand selected. So guys, incredible episode. I love what Henry shared with us there. And make sure you tune in to the next episode that we'll be sharing with you. But for now, make sure you turn in the full episode with Henry, Ammar, and make sure you leave us comments and let us know how we did. See you guys.